Good morning on Thursday. Well, actually, I think it's noon, but I've been editing all morning, and now it's time for a little breakfast while I finish up. Here is my little to-do list for the day. So far, I have finished the video, and I estimated that that would take 2 hours, but unfortunately, it took more like 3. I did fold their laundry also in that time, so that's not too bad. And I watered the plants. I started working before 9 a.m. and it's almost 2 p.m. So all of this took way longer than expected. I did have about a 20-minute break there for lunch, or brunch technically, but I am absolutely behind my plan. I did have my mom stop by, so that was the better part of this past hour. But we also started working on this task that I have here on the list, and that is decluttering jewelry. This isn't necessarily my jewelry. However, I did have a pretty big Amazon box that you see over there on the other couch. And that box was pretty full of different jewelry that my friend was getting rid of. It had all kinds of things like samples, things that were damaged, or things that were experimented on. So to him, that was all trash. But I have a hard time just letting things go into trash. And I decided that I want to take it home and look through it. It's been a few months and I am finally getting to that. We did manage to pull a lot of things out, especially earrings, but this big ball of chains is still something for me to work on. And they're pretty tight in there, so it's going to be a process. I don't want to show the brand because I don't think my friend would like that, considering I basically dug through his trash. And this may not be the best representation of what their brand is right now. And although I don't wear a lot of jewelry, I'm sure I can find some nice things in there. My mom already stashed a handful of things for herself and my sister. So we'll see what else is in there, but this will take a while. On my to-do list, I only allotted half an hour to this task, although this task will definitely take longer. But I was thinking I was going to combine decluttering the jewelry with updating my trackers, because to update my trackers, I'm going to have to watch some of my old videos, and that is going to be the definition of cringy. I don't want to do it, but that's the price you pay when you don't keep up. So I thought I was going to be watching some old videos, making notes, and then decluttering and working through the jewelry as I went, and I allotted half an hour to each of those tasks because I thought together an hour should be plenty. Now, looking at the time and the fact that my mom stopped by unexpectedly and spent some time here, I know I'm not going to be able to get through this. The other things on the list are packing up some of the donations from all the decluttering we did last month, because I still have piles everywhere. And even if I don't drop them off today, it would be nice to get things packed up and ready to be put in the car, or maybe even putting in the car, as well as taking out the recycling, because that is overflowing. All right, because I have everything pretty much strewn about and there's a ton of earrings up here, I decided that what I'm going to do is try and clean up this mess a little bit before I stop this task. So my plan is that I'm going to snip off the name of his company, because most of these I won't be keeping. I'll see if my sister or any of my friends want some, but most of them that are still good are going to get donated. And like I said, I'm not sure if friend would want his company name to be out there with products that may not have been top rate. This is what I have so far in terms of usable jewelry. I do also have a bunch of trash. My time for today has run out, but I am taking out all the recycling. And it did take me a little bit to get this ready, because there were some things that I needed to clean, to recycle from all the things that I had gotten out of my pantry. Good morning on Friday. I am halfway through the morning already, but let me show you what I'm working on today. It looks like the cat is reviewing my plan. I wonder if he approves. Do you approve, buddy? So here are my post-it notes with my to-do lists. This is yesterday's post-it note. As you can see, it got somewhat done. I worked hard all day, I have to say, so I am proud of myself. Although maybe not everything got completely done, that's okay. Some jobs were just bigger than I anticipated. What we have here is today's to-do list. These items are things from yesterday that I wanted to actually get done today. And I am also pulling from my weekly to-do list up here, obviously along with things that come up. It is 11 a.m. and I am actually ready to cross some things off the list. While my bathroom warmed up so I could wash my hair, I actually made some pico de gallo. I did note here that it would take me about half an hour, and to be honest, it took me a little longer than that. But that's okay. There is a lot of chopping involved, and it's a pretty slow process for me. But I did buy all the ingredients earlier in the week, and I did want to change some things up in my meal plan. So this was definitely something I was craving, and it was worth the work. My only issue was that some of the tomatoes smelled very fishy, and I know that fish fertilizer is used in tomatoes, and I'm sure it's great for the plant and for the tomatoes themselves. But unfortunately, I have a sensitive nose, and I was able to pick that up. My hope is that all the cilantro that I put in and the lime, and once everything mixes together, I won't be able to pick that out. And it wasn't all the tomatoes, it was just one or two that were exceptionally fishy. Once everything melts together, I'm sure I won't be able to tell. So, pico de gallo has been finished. And then I did go and wash my hair, and it was more of like a everything shower, bath sort of situation. So it took a little bit. It did end up being about 45 minutes or so, but I am trying to build in a little more wiggle room in my plans. Other than that, my list has me packing up the donations, the thing I didn't do yesterday, and I think that should take me about a quarter of an hour, so 15 minutes. I do still want to update my trackers, and I did list that at 1 hour because I know that's pretty much how long it'll take to watch those older videos. But I am trying to figure out what I can do while this is happening. So maybe I'll do some crafting or something fun. Not everything has to be about being productive. I do want to follow up with my friend regarding that certificate application that I'm still determined to get filed. I didn't really list how long that'll take. That should only be a few minutes. I do want to get the insurance card information for my new insurance. I think I've received several emails from them, so I'm sure it's in there somewhere. I just got to go and retrieve that and maybe take a screenshot so I'm able to schedule some appointments. And in that vein, I also want to call my PCP, my gynecologist, and therapist that someone had recommended to see if they accept this insurance that I have. Obviously, these are not necessarily doctors I'm currently seeing, just prospective ones that I think should fill those roles if everything works out with the insurance. I also have a goal for reading one more book for growth this month. And in my week 1 to-do list, I do have reading 100 pages. I don't know how that's going to work out considering it's Friday already. But I did put a more realistic goal for today, which is reading 20 pages of that book. I am a few pages in and it started out a little dry, so let's see how that goes. If my time estimations are correct, I should still have about 2.5 hours of work to do today. All right, I have a little bit of a change of plans. My mom wants to go to Costco and I wouldn't mind going either. So I'm quickly trying to get ready to do that. But while I was eating my breakfast, my lunch basically, I have done some things. I have logged into my new insurance account and I have screenshotted all my insurance information. So I'm good to go there. I also have made a list of the potential doctors that I want to see. I'm going to try and see if I can call them from the car on the way to Costco and just ask them if they accept my insurance. And I guess if they do, I can already set up appointments. But if they'll need insurance information and stuff like that, I don't want to be looking at things while I'm driving. But calling is hands-free, so that should work. I am going to try and make this trip to Costco pretty quick so I can still get everything else on my list done, or as much as possible, obviously. Although I don't really love multitasking, sometimes it's necessary. And today we're going to try and make it work. I'm just going to brush my teeth now and I'm ready to go. Not only did I call the doctor's offices and make inquiries, I made an appointment. Not only did I make one appointment, I made 2 appointments. Neither one of these is for the therapist, unfortunately, but I did try and call them. All I got was voicemail. So there it is. I'm still very happy with the progress. I am back from the shopping trip. It's 2:30 now, which is a little longer than I hoped for, but that's okay. I did some good things along the way. So it's time to check off things on the to-do list and see what is left. I did follow up with my friend, but I didn't get her, so I just left a message, but that's okay. I'll keep following up. I did get the new insurance card info, so that's good. And I did make some phone calls. I did not reach the therapist's office, but you know, such is life. There'll be another time. I swear I called. With the hour that I have left, I'm going to prioritize packing up the donations, but I also want to make a dent in updating the tracker. So I'm going to sit down now, watch some videos, and see how far I can get. Maybe I can do something else while this happens, but I also need a bit of a break, and I still need to eat before I go to work. Again, I'm trying to fit all of this in just an hour. In terms of updating my trackers, this is the main one that I'm concerned about. As you can see, it was all going pretty good until something happened here and nothing got filled out. Honestly, if this task was really stressing me out or I was going to prioritize it over other important things, I think I would decide to just let this go and continue where I am now, which is the first week of February, and I'm going to be checking that off now. But filling in these trackers is something that gives me a lot of satisfaction. So mostly for that, I would like to go back and spend a little bit of time trying to figure out what I got done, what I didn't get done, and so on. It's not going to be a perfect representation, but it'll be something. And really, I only am about 2 months behind, so that's not too bad. There may be a few other things in there that I need to just review and make sure that I'm not missing information on. But I do love looking back at my planners and seeing how the year had gone. So for me, this is time well spent. Some counters have been done. Toilet and sink have been cleaned. Clothes have been folded and put away. And the whole place has been swept. Like I said, I won't be doing the plant watering today. That will probably get done tomorrow. But that's not a big deal. Now moving on to these tasks. It is time for me to head out to work, but my tracker is looking much better. I did manage to finish up November and go through all of December. All I've got left now is January. This one will be easier because I did actually journal every day in January. So I should have pretty good notes on what got done and to-do lists of things that got done for every day right in my planner. I could just look back and I don't have to watch my videos, which is good. Although once I put myself on 2 times speed, it wasn't so bad. But I think it's always awkward to listen to your own voice. So not only do I have better records and I can more easily fill this out, I also still kind of remember what got done, especially for the quarterly tasks and things like that. This progress makes me happy. As far as my to-do list, I will cross off updating trackers because I did spend an hour doing that. But unfortunately, I am completely out of time for any of the other tasks. Maybe I'll do some reading tonight before bed. We'll see. That is some pretty good progress on this goal. Good morning on Saturday. Let's take a look at my post-it notes. Here we have the note from yesterday, and as you can see, I got most of the things done. Unfortunately, I never got to packing up the donations or doing any reading. After I got back from work, I was just so tired, I didn't want to do anything. And here we have today's list. I do have a mechanic appointment today at noon. And that's just somebody from my neighborhood who's going to take care of a couple things on my car, some little stuff. But that also means that I have to run out to the auto parts store and purchase some things and stop by the ATM and grab some cash to pay him. Otherwise, on my to-do list today, I have ordering a new planner for the new year because my new year starts in March. So it would be nice to have something. I have taken a look at a few of them already. I just have to pick one. I did want to do a little bit of reading because I haven't done any of that this week. I did want to update my trackers. I did want to potentially untangle all those necklaces that I still have in that box of jewelry. I have a pet vet claim that I need to make with the insurance for the medication I picked up for my cat recently. And I still obviously want to pack up the donations. Just like previous days, next to each of the tasks, I have what my estimation of how long it'll take. For packing up the donations, I guess I got an extra 1 in there. So that's just supposed to say 1/4 of an hour, not 1/14. That would be really quick. It is almost 11 a.m. and I have been at this since 9 a.m. And if you add up all the times that I estimated that I need to take care of everything, it adds up to 4 hours. but I'm already behind. And I think that's just how today is going to go. I also do have a little bit of a headache. I am concerned that it might be turning into a migraine. I am in the migraine danger zone, unfortunately, so I'm trying to be very careful about getting enough sleep, eating on time, staying hydrated, whatever it may be that may trigger the migraine. Hopefully this does not develop into anything and I'm able to continue with my day. Work tonight is non-negotiable unless I'm feeling really, really bad, but everything on my to-do list can easily get abandoned if I'm not feeling well. However, I have already worked on some things this morning. I did not waste the last hour and a half. I have gone through my planner and I finished updating all my trackers. So I am very, very happy with that. I did find one very nice surprise in there, and that was my tracker for getting rid of 1,000 things this year. I thought I was a little further off, at least 100 plus items away from getting done, but it looks like I'm only 52 items away. So that's pretty good. I think I can easily get rid of 52 things this month. Honestly, once I'm finished going through that box of jewelry, there'll probably be 52 items I'm getting rid of in there. And because I've had that box at my house for more than 6 months, I am absolutely counting anything that I get rid of that box as things I got rid of. Because if I never went through that box, it would be living in my house for years. I think for the box of jewelry, and just because how many things there are, I won't be counting any of the things I'm throwing out that I deem to be unusable. For the fun of it, I might weigh it and just count the number of pounds, but we'll see how the month progresses. Another positive that came out of updating my trackers and finding out how little items I still need to declutter is that this task of untangling the necklaces is no longer time sensitive. I think I'm actually going to cross that out for today. I already am behind on things. I have a lot going on. And now I feel like I basically have until the end of the month to finish this task of going through that jewelry box. I'm not saying I'm going to leave it till the end of the month, but I do have more time and I don't have much time today. So let's update this list. We are gonna cross this out because we're not doing that. I did update all my trackers, so that's really good. And although I estimated only an hour for that, it did take me a little bit over an hour. However, I did also in that time get dressed, have breakfast, brush my teeth, the regular things. Like I said, it's getting close to 11 and I'm going to head out to the auto parts store and get the cash from the ATM before I have to drop off my car at 12. I do want to leave myself a little bit of extra time just in case I need to go to more than one auto parts store, which I doubt. But also my car's a little messy, so I'm going to clean up just a tiny bit in there as well, so the poor guy does not get scared and he has enough room to get into the car. That means I should be back home around 12:15 or so, and then I can resume working on my other tasks. It's 11:15 and I'm done at the parts store. There was no line at the ATM, so it's 11:20 and I've got cash in hand. It's 11:34 and because I had some extra time, I stopped by the supermarket to take advantage of a good soda sale. I don't drink a lot of soda, but when people come over, it's nice to have some. And because I do have a little bit extra time, I'm going to go through and organize in my car just a tiny bit. I'm not doing an actual clean out, but I have some stuff that needs to go in the trash and some things that need to go home. All right, that is looking much better. I still have about 10 minutes until my appointment with my neighbor mechanic. So I'm gonna swing through the McDonald's drive-thru for a little ice cream because sometimes sugar will help the migraine. Can I just get the mini Oreo McFlurry, please?
Anything else?
That's it, thank you.
Okay, first window, please.
Thank you. Sweet treat has been acquired. Time to drop off my car. It is 12:20 and I'm back on my couch. I'm going to take a little bit of time just to enjoy my ice cream and relax, maybe for the next 20 minutes or so. And at 12:30, I'm going to get back to my to-do list. All right, I've done a little bit of searching and I think I'm down to these two planners. It's either this one, which I really like the design of. However, it's white. I'm a little concerned how clean that'll stay, but it is what it is. Or this one here, which I also really like. I like the design, I like the color, I like everything about it. My only concern is that this dark green might be very dark, leaning towards black in real life. I've had that happen before. As much as I like green, dark green can be tricky sometimes. I don't know. I guess I'm going to think about it just a little bit longer. It's about 1:20 now, and here's my update. I did file that pet insurance claim, and the only things left on my to-do list for today are packing up the donations, which shouldn't be that much of a big deal, and hopefully doing some reading. I am still not feeling the best. I haven't even finished my ice cream. At this point, I think I'm going to lay down a little bit and relax. I will try and do some reading, but we'll see how that goes. And now, unavoidably, it's time to go to work. I did spend some time relaxing, but I also got to page 40 in my book, which is not bad, more than I anticipated getting done. All in all, I may not have finished my to-do list completely, but I am very happy with everything I got done. For everything else, there's always next week. As hard as it is to get out from under 3 blankets, it is time to get to work. So I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you back again on Thursday.